That's what my mom always said. My mom always said, "You're special." And I was like, "Thank you." Thank you, Mom. I guess we should do a song about my best friend. Because, tear, that's sentimental. Are we good? I have thumbs up. SOS. My daughters are actually taking ASL because it's actually the most useful language and one of the most learned languages in the United States of America. I know you would think it'd be Spanish, but that's just because we're in Texas, No offense to your people. Okay. No offense to half of you. Okay. But you are, that's true. It's really fun. She's the most white Mexican I've ever known besides my best friend in high school. And we go into a place and she's from Houston, my tour manager, and she talks like a valley girl from California sometimes. Just admit it. Yes. Yeah, we all know. Yes. See, exactly. And my kids, I'm Leslie Stovall. And so what's really fun is we stopped in this restaurant one time because we always want to find somewhere cool to eat at all costs. We could die, but we're going to have the best enchiladas of our life right now. And we were in North Texas heading to New Mexico, I'm pretty sure. And we had the kids, and they're like, this has really good reviews. And it was next to this little hotel. And you have to walk in through a barred door, but when you walk in, it's just a dark hallway. It's really weird. They had office furniture, but it's just a long strip of a dark hallway. And I'm like, I literally had my gun on me. And I was like, all right, I guess we're going to go through. There's 2 doors. You don't know which one. You just pick one. It's like Willy Wonka at this point. I was like, I wonder if we're going to get taller, And so I was like, I'm going to go for this one straight ahead. And so I opened it. I was like, oh, there's a restaurant in there. Holy cow. Maybe 12 seats, And so we go in and it's just us in there, which is also really awkward. And the guy comes out and he's like, hi, welcome. Bienvenidos. Come sit down. I will cook for you. And I'm like, fantastic. Okay. So we sit down. We order this food. I'm not kidding you. The plate was that big. And the menu was just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. I'll make whatever you want. I was like, wow, my mom wouldn't even do that. She's like, you eat what I put in front of you. And that's all you're getting. Yeah. If you don't eat all of it, that's all you're getting. It's like until I sneak in the middle of the night and eat that cereal. But yeah, it was some of the best food we had ever had. And the guy was saying something about, he made a comment about 2 blondes. I was like, she's Mexican. She's half Mexican. So, don't judge all of us. I'm like 7 different nationalities, which is really fun. And because you never know which one you're going to get at any given moment. And my mom, we have a group text with all 8 of the kids and my mom. And she said, guess what? I just found out on Ancestry.com. And we're like, what, Mom? She said, I'm 2% Jewish. I was like, really? I was like, that's like a walking contradiction since you were raised Catholic. This is fun. Can't wait to get in this group thread. And so everybody's like, wow, neato. Amazing. Never would have thought that. And I said, of course, I'm related to Jesus, y'all. My sins are forgiven by 1%. You're all going to hell, but not me. 1%. That's like a grand slam home run. I slid in, stood up like grand slam. Yeah. So I can't wait. I'm going to go over there and visit, the homeland. Be like, hey, I'm of the people. Shalom. It's going to be so great. They're like looking at me with their little curls. Like, we're definitely not really. Hey, my sense of humor is definitely Jewish. That's my 1%. Yeah, exactly. You look at you, cute little Jewish man. Anyway, I was saying, before y'all rudely interrupted me, I was saying that I should do a song about my best friend. You know, because that would be very nice of me to do that, I think. Do you know who my best friend is? Have you ever met? Oh.
Thought I was, but you know, it's okay.
No, it's tequila.
Tequila.
She don't call it tequila. She calls it the yellow wine. And de la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people way down south of the border. So bartender, set 'em up, bartender, please take my order. Gloria Bonita, don't drink margarita, she likes it straight from the bottle. Chiquito Jose sits at George's all day, drinking his fill full throttle. And as time slips away in that little cafe, he says, tell me the secret, amiga. You're not from here and it shows, and if you were, then you know. That's how we say it in Waco. She don't call it tequila, she calls it the yellow one. And de la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people way down south of the border. So bartender, set 'em up, bartender, please take my order. I need to hear your best gritos. That was terrible. You know what a grito is? It's taking all your positive emotion, negative emotion, all your feelings, rolling it up into one big yelp. That's what the Mexicans do. Yeah, Little Joey La Familia is who I wrote this song about. And his claim to fame is his grito. He would be in the middle of a song and he'd go, you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen him do that? Yeah, and he wouldn't have a shirt on. It's like, it's a whole thing, sweating and stuff. The longer microphone. Not this time, Helen. But they are real, like I said. He was asking. Your husband was asking. Gloria Bonita, don't drink margarita. She likes it straight from the bottom. Chiquito Jose sits at George's all day, drinking his fill full throttle. And as time slips away in that little cafe, he says, tell me the secret, amiga. You're not from here and it shows, and if you were, then you know. That's how we say it in Waco. She don't call it tequila, she calls it the yellow wine. De la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of people from way down south of the border. So bartender, set 'em up, bartender, please take my order. So bartender, set 'em up, bartender, please take my order. You know what I just figured out?
What's that?
It's the pineapple. I shouldn't have eaten. I'm allergic to pineapple, but I really do love it. Mm-hmm. So I know, but I didn't think it was canned pineapple. Wasn't it? Was it canned? Oh, it was fresh. That makes sense. No, I'm fine. It's just scratchy, that's all. Like a cougar. Yeah, the bourbon. Well, then I should sing a song about my ex-husband.
Which one?
Yes, you guys are on it now. Now I feel like I'm on an episode of Hee Haw. Which one? The second one. Mm-hmm. God rest his soul. His little parole officer's pea-picking heart. So I saw you have Jerry Jeff. Was he here in the music room? Not yet. Okay. Do you just dangle that participle anytime you want? Not yet. But he will be. Spiritually. Mm-hmm. I knew Jerry Jeff since I was, teenager. I did shows with him. And then Molly McKnight, my friend that I was telling you about on break, she said, I just think you and Django would hit it off and y'all would be really good friends. Well, turns out she was right. I met him 10 years after she made that comment. And we wrote so many songs together. Most of my 2010 album we wrote together. We did 2 radio tours. Once when I had Henley, and Henley was an infant. So we had to stop every now and then. In North Texas, there was nowhere, like not a lot of gas stations at the time. And so I'd be like, hey, man, we got to pull over. I got to breastfeed. I was like, can you give me like 20? Is that cool? And I said, but aren't these fun? It's like, I feel like Dolly Parton for once. It's great. These are great. I didn't even have to pay for them. They were just free, And actually, I was like, quick, do my photo shoot. Yeah. It's true. I have some really great photos during that time. But, of course, the guitar was hiding the other part of that, Just look up here, look up here. But anyway, Jerry Jeff could never remember my name. I had probably done, I don't know, over the years, 40 shows with Jerry Jeff Walker. And finally, Django and I had become friends, and I was coming through Austin, and I was with my dad. I can't remember what we were doing. And I said, hey, I'm with my dad, and we're coming through Austin. Do you want to have lunch with Jerry Jeff? Like, we can go with our dads and have a soda. And he was like, well, let me ask him. He said, hey, Dad, Pauline Reese and her dad are in town. You want to go down to there was like a soda shop, like an old-timey pharmacy with hamburgers and shakes. And, our old parents loved that. And so he said, oh, yeah. He goes, Pauline, country singer, blonde. I was like, yes. It only took him 25 years to remember at least who I was. He wouldn't have remembered my name, though. He'd be like, oh, pretty sure I know you. Okay. So we wrote this song, Jerry Jeff, or Django and I did, his son, and it's about rodeo. And it was about my ex-husband.
Which one?
Second one. I just needed that. It's the pineapple. No. Not yet. Untangle that. Yet. So we wrote this about him riding rodeo because he was fascinated with saddle bronc and how all that worked. I said it's the most complicated and difficult of all the sports, honestly, because of all the intricacies of the horse doing its job, the cowboy doing his job, and how he's doing his job, how his toes are turned out, how he's holding his hand, like all these things, and having to mark the horse out coming out of the chute. He was like, well, what does rank mean? And I said, well, rank means that he drew, because it's like a lottery. You draw your horse or your bull. So it means he drew a really good one, and that's what you want. So you'll drive all the way to Lubbock and draw a horse that is not so bueno, right? And so half your points are the horse and half is you riding it. So sometimes if it's a really crummy horse that's known for running them down the fence or doing something really dangerous, they just turn out. So you drive all the way to Lubbock to turn back around, which is really fun when you have a 2-year-old and your infant with you. I'm like, really? I was like, I like my job so much better because I know that I'm going to get paid when I get there. I'm just going to turn around. So it was a wild adventure. And I said, now rank is really good if it's a horse, but if it's a woman, you don't want a rank woman. I just want to be clear. A difference. I'm killing him. He's dying. Anyway, that's what the song is about rodeo. And then when Django and I were writing this, we were making a bet about putting Honey Bun into a song. I was like, I don't think there are any songs with honey bun in it. Even in the 1950s, there's no honey bun song. And I said, I bet I can put it in our song. I'll bet you $100. And he was like, okay. I said, you're not going to write it into a rodeo song? Little did he know how many hours I'd been on the road with music and my cowboy husband.
Which one?
Both of them. I have a problem. I got help. Caleb's not a cowboy. Yay. Yay me. Yay me. So, you decide if I won the $100 bet.
Okay.
Another 18-hour drive. No cold air in his old Bel Air, but he's still gonna ride. Calls his buddies on the phone. Says this rodeo's done. I drew the one, so y'all can just stay home. And it's feet in the stirrups, hand on the rein. To be the toughest cowboy, you've got to be a little vain. And he's riding for the buckle, adding money and the fame. He knows what's at stake every time he's pulling rank. All right, here we go. Lights go out and the show is done. Gets a coffee to go, beef burrito and a honey bun. Oh, I win. Didn't go quite as he planned. With the money he won, the bills will get done. After all, he's a family man. And it's feet in the stirrups, hand on the rein. To be the toughest cowboy, you've got to be a little vain. And he's riding for the buckle, adding money and the fame. He knows what's at stake every time he's pulling rank. Tonight he knows he let one get away, but tomorrow he'll be back in that chute. He's gonna give it everything. And it's feet in the stirrups, hand on the rein. To be the toughest cowboy, you've got to be a little vain. And he's riding for the buckle, adding money and the fame. He knows what's at stake. Yeah, he knows what's at stake every time he's pulling rank.
So you won $100.
Yeah.
Cool.
He still owes me. He bought me tacos. It's like, so it's like $35. But who's keeping track? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily will.
Henley will. That's right. We're short. Yes. She's my little, literally micromanager. They want me, like, they're in this, because my roots are a little darker, because my natural hair, winter hair, you know what I mean? If you're out in the sun, you know what I mean. Your hair gets blonder. When you're out in the sun more, yes, it gets lighter. It just gets lighter when you're in the sun more. And it's been winter, and so my roots are going out. My Jewish roots are coming out. And one daughter's like, I think you need to go a little bit darker with your hair. Just accept your Jewishness. And I'm just like I'm a dirty blonde. And I don't mean that in a dirty way. I mean,
She is.
okay. But my hair is like a darker blonde now that I'm, in my 30s. And and one daughter is like, no, just if you're going to go blonde, go all blonde. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a Marilyn Monroe type. I don't know. Dolly did it, And I had a club owner tell me one time, if I had what Dolly had, then I would be famous.
But Dolly will wigs or wears wigs.
No, he was talking about boobs. But
I know, but it's
but probably hair too, Yeah. I don't know. I can't decide. So I'm just going to take a tally. I'll do like a chat or a, like a GPT thing with like darker hair and then like bleach blonde. It's kind of fun. One of my friends has a bunch of wigs in her house. That was fun. I was like, I'm going to go spy on people. We can still tell it's you. Can you though? Okay, y'all need to get serious for a second. I've got work to do. I think I'm going to do I think I'm going to do Sweetgrass. I make Leslie cry real quick. Thank you. And disclaimer, this is not my Willie duet. It has nothing to do with that kind of grass. Okay? That one's actually called Trail Tears, which is what I had when I did that one time, in fact, inhale by accident Bill Clinton on that. Yeah, it was because look, I don't smoke. I don't do drugs of any kind, except, my best friend is tequila. That's it. But we were celebrating my first duet with him on my Good, Bad, and Ugly album. And it was Freddie Powers, his wife, Catherine, and John, who ran Luck. He took care of all the horses and the ranch there. And then, you want some more? and Willie, and that was it. We were just hanging out on his ranch. He said, let's celebrate me being on your record. And I'm like, sounds good to me. Well, I was drinking water, and he pulls out this giant joint. And I'm like, uh-oh. Mom told me no. Keep in mind, I'm like 28. So he passes this joint around, and Freddie leans over to me and goes, be careful, kiddo. I was like, it's okay. I haven't had anything to drink. I'm just going to put it in my mouth and blow it right back out. I'm not even going to put it in my lungs. I'm just not even going to inhale. I'm just going to put it in my mouth and then blow it out. He goes, good plan. I was like, okay. So it comes around like being polite. Like, thank you. Okay. Good stuff. Best ever that I've had. Dying. So it comes around. I do it again. I'm like, Obviously, I don't smoke pot because I'm like this. And then all of a sudden, I just start to feel my calves tingle. And I have had moonshine. They told me when I was Pootie, who was Willie Nelson's stage manager, brought some to his club one time from Kentucky. He said, the berries don't have as much liquor in them. Liar. So I ate the berries. My calves started tingling. I was like, you're a liar. But anyway, it felt like that. And I was like, uh-oh, felt that before. And we were going to play pool. And he said, you can play the winner, which will be me. And I was like, and then Freddie was like hell, I'm going to beat your tail at pool and whatever. And so we sit down on the church pew at the general store. And I'm having a spiritual experience. So I'm like, this is appropriate. Wow, this bench feels amazing. It's so smooth. Must be a really old bench from an old church. I'm like, whoa, all right, I'm tripping. and so then I was like, all right. And they're playing pool. And I was like, I think I need some fresh air. And my ex-husband was sitting there. I said, I need
which one?
The first one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so I said, I need your help. I need to go outside and get some fresh air. I don't feel so good. And he said, I am sitting here watching Freddie Powers and Willie Nelson play pool. He said, you can go outside by yourself. I said, no, you don't understand. I feel sick. I need your help. He said, I once again am watching Willie Nelson and Freddie Powers. I was like, fine, I can do it myself. So I get up. I get as far as the swinging doors at the general store. I push them open, and that's the last thing I remember because I passed out. I hit my head. I quit breathing. And then when I wake up, it's like a Simpsons episode. Everybody looks like a cartoon, and Willie and Freddie, my ex-husband, and Kath were all standing there, and they're like, the first one? And I was like, I need coffee. I need something to wake me up. I'm just like falling asleep. And I had a little conversation with my dead grandparents. It was a whole spiritual... And then next thing I know, Willie's leaving. I was like, I never got to play pool. Bye. So the next morning, I came over to the general store and I drew a chalk outline of myself. And I put, I'll never smoke weed with Willie again. And I put, love, Pauline. It was like one of those chalk outlines like this. That was me. That was me the night before. Guess who comes over the next day?
Willie.
No, Toby Keith. Guess what song he cut? I'll never smoke weed with Willie again. Guess who didn't get any royalties? This guy. I know, and that's sad. Yeah, that has nothing to do with this song. You guys talk too much. This one is called... This one's called Sweetgrass. I wrote this for my girls when I was pregnant with my third child. And it was a very traumatic miscarriage where I lost over half my blood mass during the miscarriage at my sister's house and delivered the baby on her kitchen floor. And then they took me to the hospital and I died and they brought me back. And then I couldn't understand speech for like at least 3 months because I had had a stroke. That's why I died, from not having enough blood. And I just wanted them to know that no matter what, I was always there, even if I wasn't there physically, because I'm a big believer in God and having a spirit. So this one's called Sweetgrass. If I could see what you've seen through your eyes, where the sweetgrass sways and the eagle flies, you've walked this place, you've plowed this land, with the sweat of your brow and the toil of your hands, and you've marked it with your graves, where the sweetgrass sways, where the sweetgrass sways. Blood's been spilled and hearts poured out, and tears have rained through the cold and the drought, but the seeds of hope that I now hold, and it's up to me to make them grow. And I'll see my babies raised where the sweetgrass sways, where the sweetgrass sways. Ooh. Sun sets and the angels come, and the plow stands still, but there's work to be done. But the ground is rich and the roots are strong, and as long as you're here, will you carry it on? Will you carry it on? And I always will remain where the sweetgrass sways, where the sweetgrass sways, the sweetgrass waves. Ooh. Thank you. I know after hearing that, you would think I would have smoked pot with Willie, but it was just that one time. And like I said, I didn't even inhale. So, which is ironically years and years later, my daughter has heard me tell that story. And I'm like, don't do drugs. It's not good for you. And so most recently, she was in school and she was in this group of people and they were passing a vape around. Right? And so she had her hoodie on. They all have hoodies on. It's cool to wear hoodies with short shorts. That's what you do in case you're a teenager. And with socks and Birkenstocks, by the way, which if my high school years, if you were wearing that, you were a grandpa. Like, what are you doing with socks and your sandals, bro? And it was bro with an O, not bruh now. It's bruh now. I was like, when I was your, it was bro. So I'm just going to say bro. And they're like, no, it's bruh. Anyway, so they passed this vape around and it's on camera. And because she was standing there, she got detention and she got in trouble. She said, Mom, I put it up to my mouth, but I didn't inhale. Oh, no. It's like, she got me. I was like, yeah, well, that's not going to work. Yeah. You're still grounded. I just put it in my mouth and then I blew it back out. It wasn't in my lungs. It's like, You've heard your mom tell that story way too many times. Yeah. Nice try. You're grounded. Have fun in detention. Which is really fun because the first day that I dropped her off, I have a PA in my other daughter's 1984 square body truck that I got for her. And so my nephews put this PA in there and it has like cop sirens or ambulance or fire, whatever you need, whatever you may need. And so the PA is great. I dropped her off and I was like, Henley, I know you're in detention, but if you can graduate high school, you'll be the first one in our family. And you're making your family so proud. If you can just graduate high school, baby, you can do it. We believe in you. And she was like, Mom, stop it. Like, I don't know her. It's like, this is what you get when you get grounded. You get embarrassed. I said, my plan B is I literally bought a pool to put in the back of the truck, which my older daughter and I tested out. And you just drive it around the neighborhood with water in it. And when you stop, it sloshes this way and then that, And then we picked up neighborhood kids along the way. I was like, y'all hop in with the PA. You want to get in the truck pool? So this is what happens when you're from East Texas and there's no television. There's only like 4 stations. You know what I mean? It's what you get creative. Ours was a tarp. We used duct tape and a tarp, my older siblings. Yeah, everybody's done this in the country, right? Or is it just me? But so some moms and I was like, what we're going to do is we're going to all get in our bikinis, because that's embarrassing in itself to see your mom in a bikini at that age, and have some fake drinks, maybe some umbrellas and like a flamingo, floaty in the back, maybe some like arm floaties on. And we're all going to come up to the high school and wait for you to get out of school and be like, Henley, come on, get in the party pool with your mom and all your friends. I was like, that's plan B. So you better behave because it's coming. Be nice. A carpool. Where's my drummer? Da-da-touch. Okay. So Kelly Kenning and I wrote this song about the same era that I was writing Let's Get Together and Say Goodbye. And and I was playing a wedding the next morning, and I said, I have this new song. I said, play it for us. okay, so I played it for them. They're like, oh my gosh, did you write that for us? And I was like, yes. I did. It was not about my ex-boyfriend at all. Still to this day, it's been 20 years they've been married, and they're like, she wrote us a wedding song. It's very special. If they ever see this video, I'm in big trouble. Busted. I forgot we were putting this on YouTube. But they're still married, so that's cool, right?
It's very cool.
It's called They'll Survive, hopefully. That far along, they'll be fine. So this one's called Feet Don't Touch the Ground. Just to see your face makes me smile, and I love the way you move. Watching you for a while, I can't take these nights alone. It makes my day so long. That's why I sent this song, righting all the wrong. I'm so high when I'm with you. Don't wanna come down. Oh no, don't wanna come down. My feet don't touch the ground. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. My feet don't touch the ground. So give love without pride. Don't be scared, I'll still be by your side. Still be by your side. I'm so high when I'm with you. Don't wanna come down. Oh no, don't wanna come down. Feet don't touch the ground. Oh, oh, feet don't touch the ground. I'm so high, don't wanna come down. My feet don't touch the ground. Thank you. I sing all these songs about being high, and it was just that one time, and it was horrible. I hated it. They don't even make cheap Mexican dirtweed. I have another song called Cheap Mexican Dirtweed, but it's one of those that I haven't played in so long. I need to relearn it so next time I come. Okay. Yeah. I agree. I called her and I was like, girl, we have to do a tour together, and I want to call it Two Blondes Walk Into a Bar. I was like, can you imagine the advertising? We'll just be chatting like, yes, and then come see our show. Oh. Two blondes walk into a bar.
If you smoked weed with Willie, it wasn't cheap Mexican dirt.
No, that's why I died and got to talk to my dead grandparents. It was great because, I mean, I got to visit with them. I was like, what do you see my future? They were like, not much. If you keep doing this. I was like, yeah, but at least we're getting a chat. How's your mom and them? Let's see. I gotta get drunk, and I sure do regret it because I know just what I'm gonna do. I feel like I should do this song because my daughters have both said, well, this one or the other Willie tune. Can't decide. Just doing both. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I guess since you own the place, or at least you act like it, I guess I'll do that one. Okay, so the version of this that I grew up listening to was the version by the songwriter, and his name is Sonny Throckmorton. Have you guys had Sonny here? You better get him quick. But he is one of Freddie Power's best friends, and Freddie was my mentor, and Sonny was right along with him. And Sonny and I, we've written songs together, and matter of fact, that's another one I need to learn. Gosh, I really need to learn my own songs. We wrote one called I Don't Want to Be With the Wrong One When the Right One Comes Along. I don't want to be stuck and down on my luck singing the same old song. I'm all for having a good time. Now, honey, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be with the wrong one when the right one comes along. Isn't that good? Yeah. That's when I was with my ex-husband.
Which one?
The first one. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Where's your drink? Yes. Yeah, they're there. So this is one that Sonny Throckmorton wrote when people are like, especially in a bar, when I'm like, y'all know who wrote this song? And they're like, no. That's my image of a dumb person. No, I don't even care. I'm here to drink and meet a hot cowboy. Yeah, exactly. Sweet Home Alabama. Can you sing any Ella Langley? No, I'm not her.
Yes.
Gosh. I have my own songs. Since she was in diapers. But anyway, this is a song that Sonny wrote that was a #1 hit for George Strait. And the girls were like, Mom, you just made that song yours. And I was like, tear. I knew the stakes were high right from the start. And when he played his hand, I bet my heart. Now I just found a game that I can't play. And this is where the cowboy rides away. Yet my heart is sinking like the setting sun, setting on the things I wish I'd done. And it's hard to say goodbye to yesterday. This is where the cowboy rides away. It's what you do when your fiddle player's not there. We've been in and out of love and in between, and now they play the final showdown scene. When the credits roll, a sad song starts to play. This is where the cowboy rides away. And my heart is sinking like the setting sun. Ooh, setting on the things I wish I'd done. And it's hard to say goodbye to yesterday. This is where the cowboy rides away. The last goodbye's the hardest one to say. This is where the cowboy rides away. This is where the cowgirl rides. Thank you. So look up Sonny Throckmorton's version of that song. I just love it because he has his own voice, his own personality to it. But when I left in one day, and it was to set an example of how to be strong, because I left my ex when I loved him, but I did it. The second one, it's my baby daddy. But I had to do it for the sake of my girls, because I wanted them to be in a good environment, and it was not a good environment. So I did it in one day, and it set a standard that I want them to live their life, you know. So, and they do. They see it now. When my daughter was 8 years old, she said, "Mama, you're a strong, independent lady." Which is the best thing she ever told me. I was like, that's good. That's what I want you to have, that imagery, and I want you to be that way too when you grow up. Don't put up with less, you know, ever. So, let's see. We talked about that Ian Tyson song. Now, my oldest, she always thinks outside of the box. So she thinks of things that my other daughter and I wouldn't think of. And we're like, really? Okay. Heidi, what'd you just say? And she said, Mom, you've been singing that song since you were a teenager, and it doesn't make sense that the guy in the song that you're in love with is 21. That's getting kind of weird. I was like, never thought about it that way. She goes, I know. That's why I'm telling you. Maybe you should up the numbers a little bit. The song. I was like, okay. Well, my boyfriend's 35. She goes, also weird. I was like, why? Because he's a couple years older than me. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, he wrote it like he was a woman? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now it's totally normal. Just a little trans-slender joke for you guys. There's a young man that I know whose age is 21. He comes from down in southern Colorado. Just out of the service, he's looking for his fun someday soon. Going with him someday soon. My parents, they can't stand him 'cause he rides the rodeo. My father said he would leave me crying. He was right. I would follow him right down the roughest road I know someday soon. Going with him someday soon. When it comes to call, my Paul ain't got a good word to say. I guess it's 'cause he's just as wild in his younger days. So blow you old blue northern, blow my love to me. He's riding in tonight from California. He loves his damned old rodeo as much as he loves me. Someday soon, going with him someday soon. See, in the 60s, you just whistle right here if you were by yourself, you know, but I'm not a very good whistler. Can somebody whistle? I think I need to do my trumpet. That'd be better. Yeah. That was better. When it comes to call, my Paul ain't got a good word to say. I guess it's 'cause he's just as wild in his younger days. So blow you out, blue northern, blow my love love to me. He's riding in tonight from California. He loves his damn old rodeo as much as he loves me. Someday soon, going with him someday soon. Someday soon, going with him someday soon. Thank you. That's true voice control. I'm going to tell you because I was wondering about the pineapple, if I was going to be able to hit that high note. Be real honest with you. I was like, hope this works. Yeah, see, y'all thought that because my parents had 8 kids that I was Mexican, but I'm not. I'm just Catholic. I'm winning either way. That's why I tell all my Baptist friends, I'm like, we can dance, we can drink, I can play in bars. I'm still Catholic, I'm still Christian. You should come to the dark side. Be Catholic. If my mom watches this, I'm getting in big trouble. I'm going to be grounded. Yeah, 39 years old, grounded. I hope y'all are good with numbers because I've been jumping all over. No. I cut that up a long time ago. Now I just have one of those Monopoly cards that says get out of jail free. So when I get pulled over, I'm like, nice try. I have one of these. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Have a good evening, state trooper. Yeah. Bye. You should carry one of those. It worked one time, but I'm pretty sure that she was a thespian.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She liked entertainers, if you know what I mean. I want to be politically correct because there were cameras everywhere. But yeah, she was like, you're funny. Okay, I'll give you a warning. I was like, thank you, boop. Have a great day. Hope my kids watch this too, but they're used to it. They'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, they're worse. That's true. What'd you just say? You're crazy. Oh, yeah, that's what I should play. So, Freddie Powers taught me this song on Willie Nelson's guitar, actually. We were at Pootie's one night after I'd played at Pootie's, and Pootie would always book me when Willie's band was in Austin because they would come out to his bar after Willie's show. So sometimes Willie would just show up in the bar and his band, and they would sit in with my band. It was a big party, needless to say. Don't do the berries because they are stronger than the moonshine. Remember that. And so it's important bar things that you should know. And so we went to Pootie's house, his condo, afterwards, and he said, hey, you want to see something really cool? And I was like, I'm not sure. A gym coach told me that once. And I was like, not really. So and so he brought out Willie's guitar. I was like, is that Trigger? He said, the one and only. You want to play it? And I was like, sure. Yeah, I do. He was like, don't drop it. It's going into the big museum. I was like, okay. And so Freddie was there, and he said, here, I'm going to show you how to play Crazy the right way. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And so he sat there and showed me how to play it. And after 5 hours, no. I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I got to show you the song. And so I played it for her, and you can hear it's a gut string guitar. It's different than the steel string guitar. And she said, yes, honey, I've heard you play that before. It was beautiful. But why are you playing me that song that I've heard you play? I said, because I'm playing it on the guitar that it was written on. Like, hello? Yeah. You didn't hear there was a gut string guitar? I'm playing on Willie's guitar. She said, do you have a bail bondsman? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to call your father? I'm going to wake your father up. Don't make me wake your father up. He has work in the morning. That's like PTSD right there, because my mom would always come down the hall. You could hear her knees popping as she'd come down the hall, like, Mom's coming, you know. I'd sound asleep. It must have been my little brother. He was waking me up too, Mom. You ratted me out. Anyway, and she would always say, go to bed because your father has to work in the morning. So we lived together for a hot minute after my divorce. Which one? Second one. And so she would be up getting a water in the middle of the night because she was, you know, she in her early 80s at that time. And I was like, hey, go to bed because your father has to go to work in the morning. She was like, good one. That's a good one. I was like, yeah, I thought so. Go to bed. Anyway, here's Freddie's version of Willie's song. You talk too much. I'm trying to play songs and y'all are just, yeah. Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy. Crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. And I never thought it would be our much older, uglier babysitter. It was really weird. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? She looks like a shoe. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Well, we got one more song, and I'm going to let the VIP section under the UT side pick the songs. Leslie's an Aggie. Oh, look at it. It's right above her head. Look at it.
They are fair.
Da, 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 da. Yes, I was thinking either that or one of those days. Ooh. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, he acts like he owns the place all the time. Who is this guy, Helen? It's awkward. He just yells from the dark room in the back. Should hear him in the morning. Get up, I made you coffee.
What are you doing up that face?
Yeah. Wait till you're 5. Do you get up that early? You get up at 5?
I get about 5:15 because I leave here.
What are you, Picasso? Are you painting things? What is that?
I work.
You're making me tired talking about it. I get up at 6:30 or 7 with the kids during the week. So I love when people want to party on a Wednesday, and I'm like, that's so much fun. I'm disappearing. Like, what do you have to do? I'm like, get my kids up for school, fool. All right.
You gotta be quiet because Dad has to get up.
Yes, exactly. Your father has to get up and go to work in the morning. I swear that's how she said. That was her Jewish side, probably. Your father. Oh, yeah, I got to drop this D. This is my only double D in my life, by the way. There's one here and one right there.
Had children. You were
I did at one time, yeah.
for a brief moment in your life.
So I wrote this song with my friend Pat York. And he was a representative for Resist All Hats, and he also worked for Bad Company Rodeo. And oddly enough, I met him because I was hungry. And you know me, I'm always hungry. I'm like, what's that, rolls? You're making homemade rolls? I think that's from being number 7 of 8, you know? You're like, you better eat or you die. You know, you starve to death. Yeah, it's a bad deal. That's why we'd sneak in and get the cereal at night, you know? But Pat, I met him because I was playing a rodeo in Del Rio with Bad Company Rodeo and with my band, and Ryan Bingham was opening up my show playing acoustic. And then after that show, I started to let him use my band at different shows because he didn't really have a band at the time. And at the end of the night, there's nothing to eat out there. There was not even an Allsup's out there in Del Rio at the time. And I'm hungry in the middle of nowhere, which taught me to bring your own food. And they said, well, there's a guy down in the arena selling cabrito tacos. And I'm like, sounds good to me. So we go down there. And he says, I'll give you free tacos if you just sit here and listen to a couple of my songs. I'm like, that's fair. So we sit on the tailgate of a truck, Ryan Bingham and I, and he plays us a couple songs. And then he says, all right, here's your tacos. And I was like, thanks. So we're standing there eating, and I'm asking him questions. Ryan walks off, and he goes, I'll play you one more song, but it's not finished. Can I play it for you? I just want somebody's opinion. And I said, sure. So he starts playing it, and I was like, that's a hit song in the making. I really like that. And so he said, you do? I said, oh, yeah. I think it's great. I said, do you mind if I work on it? He said, sure. I said, okay, here's my number. He sends me the song. And the chords are kind of weird, so I have to call him. You know, I'm like, what are the chords again? He has to show me on guitar, and then so then literally 10 years goes by, and I still am. He's like, have you worked on it? And I'm like, not really, honestly, because the mood has to strike you. You have to be inspired, which means in spirit, and I just wasn't inspired. And after going through what I went through in my life, one day I was really depressed, and I clean when I'm depressed. So if my house is really clean, you know something's wrong. It's really angry or depressed. Like, are you okay? Your whole house is sparkling. You should run, probably. So this paper falls out when I'm going through books, and it was one of those days, and I was like, well, that's what I'm having. So I sit down on the floor and I start writing the song, and I finish it, or so I think. And I call Pat, and he answers, and I said, hey, I think I finished our song. He said, play it for me. So I played it for him, and he said, he was crying, and he said, you finished it. It's a hit song. And I said, I think so too, Pat. And he said, it only took you 10 years and 2.5 minutes. I'm never writing a song with you again. And we didn't. Oh, now he's laughing. So my friend Pat York passed away just a couple months ago, and I just played his memorial celebration of life in Denton 2 weeks ago. So, and he also booked me over the years and introduced me to Monty Hawkeye Henson, the world champion saddlebronc rider, and Larry Mahan. And they all ended up coming to my shows anytime I was in Cowtown. You could see Monty Hawkeye and Pat York and Larry Mahan. And one night after my show, Larry Mahan said, where'd you get that hat? And I said, Cavender's. He said, you need a new one. I was like, well, they're expensive, you know, and I'm a musician. And he goes, he took it off my head and took the one off his head and put it on my head. He said, there, 7 1/4, huh? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, there, now you got a decent hat. I said, well, where'd you get this one? He said, look at the label. And I took it off. It said Larry Mahan. I was like, oh, so you make your own hats? Okay. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's pretty neat. Thank you. So anyway, that's my white cowboy hat. All right. Has anybody ever had some tough times in your life, or has it been just peachy and rainbows and Skittles? It's rainbows and Skittles? No? Oh, okay. Then you could probably relate.
Woke up this morning with my head in a mess. This could be one of those days. Just when I'm thinking about leaving this place, this could be one of those days. How will I know when it's time to go? Take 2 steps up, then I take 3 back. I've seen people leave and never look back. Well, this could be one of those days. One of those days when you're feeling kind of low. One of those days you might find out where to go. You try to get high, but you reach a brand new low. Well, this could be one of those days. This world keeps spinning round and round. This could be one of those days. You're right tied up, but your life is upside down. This could be one of those days. ask for an inch, and they take it all back. Just when you thought that you had a little slack, well, this could be one of those days. One of those days when you're feeling kind of low. One of those days you might find out where to go. You're trying to get high, but you reach a brand new low. Well, this could be one of those days. This could be one of those days. This could be one of those. This could be one of those. This could be one of those days. Hey, this could be one of those days.
Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Happy Mother's Day to all you crazy people that decide to have children. Or even if you didn't, they're here and we had to raise them. By golly, happy Mother's Day. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Thank you.